Welcome to the Data Hall YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about how do we generate a sample data in R. When we are going to work with certain projects or when we are going to learn something, we would need certain data. And usually what we do is we generate some random data. So one way of doing that is to generate data manually. So what that means is that we use this data frame function and specify all the values and the variables by ourselves. For example, we have different countries, years, GDP growth data, we have specified them manually, and that would create a data frame or data that we can work with. Now that is one way of doing that. The second is that, let's say if we want to generate some normal distribution, what we can do is we can use our norm function, specify the number of values we want, the mean value of that series and the standard deviation of that series. But obviously when we do this, each time when it would give us the data, it would be a different set of data. So let me show you this data. This is how the data looks like if I generate it again, and if I can again show you the data, it is totally different from the one that we previously generated. Now, if you want your code to be replicable, to be reproducible in future, then what you need to do is set a seed. So if I set the seed, execute this command and show you the data, this is how it would look like if I can again set the seed and execute the data. Each time it would be same data that we previously had because I have set a seed. Now, if you do it at your own system using this exact seed, then you would get the exact same data at your end. We can have other kind of distributions, not just normal distribution. We can have uniform distribution, binomial distribution, etc. We can work with them, but let's use the rep function. What rep function would do is it would repeat certain values. For example, I have men, women, and children. In my dataset, I want to create a dataset that would have these three categories, and for each category, I want 30 observations. So I'm going to use the rep function. If I can show you the data, this is high data. We have 30 observations for men, women, and children's each. Lastly, we can use the sample function. Now, the sample function is quite diverse. It can do multiple things. I'm again going to set the seed first. Now, what it does is, let's say I want to generate certain individuals' data, students' data. We would have their ID. Now, in this case, I have just used the sequence to generate ID. I haven't used the sample function. But I also want their age. I want to generate a sample, a random data that would have their age. What I want is that that age should not be in decimal digits, and that age should be in specific range. So what I do is I specify the sample function, specify the range, the number of observations I want, and whether I want it to be replaced or not. So what that means is that if it generated a value, if it generated an individual with an age of 20, do you want another individual with the same age or not? Obviously, we can have multiple individuals with the same age. So that's why we have set replace equal to true. Now, what other cases can be that, let's say I want to generate a student ID. Now, each student ID would be different. So let's just say that would be in range of 500, and we want 500 observations. And in this case, I want it to be set to false. So what that means is that if it has assigned a value, this specific value, to a single individual, I do not want this value to be assigned to any other individual. So that's why I have set replace equal to false. Similarly, we can work with categorical data as we did with the rep function. For example, I want to generate a sample of male and female. We want 500 observations. Again, we can have multiple males and multiple females in our data. We can have more than two categories. For example, we want to generate the education data. We have 4 categories, whether an individual can have a primary level of education or a secondary level of education, bachelor's or master's. Again, multiple individuals can have the same kind of education. So if I can execute this, I made a mistake over here. If I can execute this, we can have the data, and this is how the data would look like. You can see that we have multiple individuals with age 33, but we would have only one individual with each student date. That's what this replace equals to fall function would do. So I hope this video was useful. Do subscribe to this channel, do hit the bell icon, and thanks for watching this video.